This is the 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe Z71. Is it the perfect family SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I borrowed this Tahoe from my friends at Red River Chevrolet. And as always, there's a link down in the description of the video if you want to know more. Let's find out what you can expect to find if this is a model you're interested in buying, this particular trim level specifically. LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. Got those nice looking turn signals right there. And you can see what's LED by that flickering effect. It's not really happening for those who don't watch me regularly. I try to explain that. It has to do with the camera. It doesn't have anything to do with the light itself. And here with this Z71 model, you'll find the gloss black front grille and some gloss black accents on the bumper. The exterior color on this model is Empire Beige Metallic. Z71 will have the red recovery hooks right there. And it's going to be four-wheel drive. It is rear-wheel drive when it's not in four-wheel drive, in case you were curious. And let's talk about our tire and wheel size. We're looking at 275 on the width, a 60 series sidewall wrapped around the 20-inch wheels, and we have the assist steps. They're not power, but that's okay. Saves you a little bit of money that way. You still have those assist steps affixed in place right there, and the Tahoe logo. And let me go around to this side as we begin talking about these power adjustable side view mirrors. Turn signal indicators are built in. They're power adjustable. They have the blind spot monitoring built in as well. And when you push this button right here, you'll also find out that they are power folding side view mirrors. That's always a good thing. And real quick look here, let me pull the remote out for you to take a look at. There is the remote. In fact, we'll turn around and give you a little bit more sunlight on that. There is your remote. You have everything you expect to find. Lock, unlock. Here is your remote start. And then you can open and close your hands-free power tailgate back there. And if you need to, you've got that panic button right there. Body color with your door handles, and you'll find passive entry here, not only on the front doors, but on the rear. And if you're not familiar with what passive entry is, when you have the remote on your person, you come up and you push the button. You can unlock all four doors, either from the front or from the rear back here. You parents will like having that on the rear doors, especially when you have smaller kids. Heck, it might even be helpful when you have older kids. Roof rails up top. We do have a panoramic sunroof. Our rear roof spoiler finishes things off back here. You're going to also find you don't have an exposed rear window wiper. That's because it's tucked away within the interior of the rear roof spoiler. LED taillights will finish things off. Under the hood is the 5.3 liter V8. It makes a plentiful 355 horsepower and 383 pounds-feet of torque. It is naturally aspirated, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And let's take a look at the MPGs, because if I don't tell you, somebody's going to ask. 15 city, 20 highway, 17 combined, and 5.9 gallons of gas for every 100 miles driven. And if you're that person who's watching this video for the sole purpose to find out the difference in the gas tank size between the Tahoe and the Suburban, with the Suburban, you have a 28-gallon gas tank. In the case of the Tahoe, it's 24 gallons, and you do have capless fuel fill. If you're interested in towing with your Tahoe, it has a max towing capability of 8,400 pounds. And you have a hands-free tailgate back here. You just kick your foot right underneath the bumper right there, and it will open. Now, what do you do if you run into the situation that I just did, where it does not open when you try and use that sensor that's located under the right-hand side of the bumper? Well, here's what you need to do. Most likely, this is your problem. It has to do with this dial right here. You'll notice that it says max, 3/4, or off. Most likely, it's set to off. So I have now set it to max. Let's go back here and do this one more time. And there is another little trick you need to know about. Don't think that just because you kick your foot under the bumper and it doesn't open immediately. See that? There was a little bit of a delay there. You did probably see, I hope the camera picked it up, that the taillights were flashing, or the lights were flashing in the taillights right there, letting you know that something was happening. But that's how easy that problem is to fix. You don't have to take it in and talk to somebody in service. And cargo capacity comes in at 25.5 up to a max 122.9 cubic feet. And you do have quite a bit going on back here. You've got some storage underneath the floor. There are the tools to change a tire if you need to. There is a spare tire located underneath the rear of the vehicle. And we'll find some tie downs back here. A few different areas if you need to tie something down. And going back to cargo capacity, what do you do if you need to maximize cargo capacity, or at least use more than what we have available right here, right now behind this third row? Well, the first thing you can do is use these buttons right here. They lower the rear seats. Now, they are power. You're going to have to hold those down. Sometimes we have to hold those down twice, but you'll see that they will go down. Now, I'm going to have to move that seat out of the way right there. And now that I have moved that left side middle row seat up a little bit, now we can lower the left side third row seat all the way down. And you can also use these switches right here to lower the middle seats down as well. Now, the one difference between the second and third rows is that you'll have to manually put the middle row seats back up. The third row is power. The one trick to that is that if you let go of the buttons, they're going to stop wherever they are when you let go of them. So you'll have to hold the buttons down all the way to put them down and to put them back up. And as mentioned earlier in the video, we do have jet black interior. We have a very comfortable armrest right here. Put your arm up there. It is nice and comfortable, nice padding. We'll have the upper and the lower door bins and the Chevrolet logo there on the door sill area. And one thing that's nice about the third row is that these second row seats can slide back and forth. That's controlled with this lever, and you can also use that to put the seat back up. We'll also have the armrests right here, very comfortable seating. And here's how easy it is to gain access to that third row. You can notice it says ×2 right there. So we're gonna push that one time, or pull on that one time, and we'll pull on it a second time, pull on it all the way, and the seat gets up and out of the way. And to make things a little bit easier, let's go ahead and put that seat back in place. I've got it moved up quite a bit, and you can see how much leg space I have, as it is rather plentiful. What about head space? Well, quite a bit there as well. I'm 5'10". You can see where I am where that's concerned. I really like the fact that you have the roof-mounted air conditioning vents. The air doesn't have to travel nearly as far to reach the passengers. You'll notice we had the same thing in a little bit of a different spot for the middle row passengers as well. And let me just move over here to the driver's side so that I can show you how much leg space I have with the seats all the way back. I could live with this for a little while. I don't know how long, maybe not on a multi-hour road trip, but I do have enough space here. I could stretch out a little bit into that pass-through right there. And let's see what we have over here. We have a couple of places. We have storage and the cup holder right there and a USB port. We'll have the same thing over on the left-hand side. And speaking of that, let me move over here real fast and show you something as well. Let's say that third row passengers don't want to use the pass-through to get out. They want to get the seat up and out of the way to do that. Well, there's a couple of ways to do that. Here is the strap that can be pulled on the release, especially if the battery dies. Otherwise, you can actually just use this, and we just hold that down once, hold that down a second time, and the seat again gets up and out of the way. And last but not least, there is the panoramic sunroof. That front portion will tilt or slide open, and there is a power shade that can be put in place if the interior is maybe getting a little too warm with all the sun that can potentially come in. And we'll talk a little more about what your second row passengers are going to find. The rear seat pockets right here on the front seats, I really think Chevrolet should add those to these middle row seats as well, to give the same option for some extra storage capacity to the third row passengers. The armrests here are very comfortable. The only thing I wish was a little different is that they're either up or they're down. You can't adjust the height in any way, shape, or form. So just one of those things. I don't think that's too big of a deal because they're not terribly low, so that's good. There are some cup holders on the rear of the center console, and you can control fan speed here with the third zone of climate control in addition to temperature. Obviously, there will be some connectivity options down here as well. We've got the power outlet right there and a couple of USB options. And we'll go ahead and hop here into the driver's seat, and I'll show you the animated graphics that come up on the screen here as far as the driver's display go. You're also going to have a little bit going on there on the infotainment screen. The Z71 logo comes up as well. And for those of you who are asking, what would it cost if I came into Red River Chevrolet and bought that Tahoe Z71 that you're showing us today? $73,480 is the sticker price. Let's see what else you get for that price. You're going to have nice large door bins, once again, the upper and the lower on these front doors, a little bit more space, and a nice large armrest, just as we saw in the rear. Plenty of space within the glove box. And if you're wondering what this is your sunglass holder, and there is a release, this button right here, that you push to open and close that. I'm sure some people have probably forced that and unintentionally broken it. Who knows? Don't be that person, just in case. Over here on the driver's side door panel, you have one touch down and one touch up front windows, one touch down, and then you'll have to hold the button to get the rear windows back up. All your controls there for your side view mirrors, seat memory right here, a couple of settings as far as that goes, and then everything for your headlights, taillights, all of that is going to be here, as well as your driving mode control there on the left. Let's see what your driving modes are. We have sport, we have off-road, tow haul mode, and normal. That's what you're going to have. And you have your steering wheel mounted controls right here. Pretty easy to figure out what is what as far as that goes. Now, if you say, you know what, I really don't like the way that dash looks, well, there's an easy way to fix that. In fact, let me show you what I just did. I pushed the left arrow right here. You can arrow your way back and forth until you find this area right here, this option, and you can change your display layout. And there's actually a couple of different ways you can do this. You can go with progressive. We'll let that come up. We can go to digital. Be patient with me now. And we can go to clean. So depending on what you want to see, well, you can fix all of that. We're going to go back to classic. And that's not the only thing you can do. You can also go back one more here. You can change the left side. You can change the right side, the lower gauges, basically every area, the units, speed warning, whatever you want to change, add or not have on here. You can even get rid of the likeness of the Tahoe right there if you wanted to do that. Pretty easy to deal with. It is a nice modern look. You'll have your push button start right here and your push button shifter. Some people like that and some people don't. Tell me what your thoughts are. What would you rather have? A column shifter? That'd be something down here like the trucks typically do, or some of the trucks at least, the Silverados. And up here with our infotainment screen, a very easy, simplistic screen to use. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you do have a lot of camera views here. And one thing you'll notice with the camera views, let's say for example right here, you've got that orange dot and then the gray dot underneath. What does that mean? It means you have more than one view. So that's pretty easy to figure out depending on what you need to see. You can use that accordingly. Here's your side view mirror cameras, front and rear view. There's a lot going on here. You can definitely see every angle you need to, no matter what the situation is. I really like that. Just makes life a lot easier, especially if you're in tight confines. And you do have wireless capabilities for your phone with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but if you want to use built-in maps, which is going to be Google Maps anyway, there it is. You also have Google Assistant here, which means you can say, hey, you know who. I could have some fun with that, but I won't do that today. Say something such as, hey, you know, turn on Vehicle Visionary on YouTube. That would be fun to do, but you're already watching, so what difference would it make? Trailering right here, that's easy to figure out, but just to show you what's here. But I do want to go back, and we're going to go over here into settings, and I want to show you a couple of things here. You've got your connections, vehicle apps, date and time display. There's all kinds of things here. Very easy to deal with. You can use what I like to personally call the hunt and peck method. You're going to have your teen driver mode. You can turn your rear seat reminder on and off, buckle to drive on and off. I always recommend using your seatbelt when you drive, but if you're cruising around in a parking lot, for example, or maybe you're driving around some place where you don't need your seatbelt on, well, you can turn that off. It will help in that area. And here's something I know a lot of you like to know about, your collision detection systems. What do we have? Automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, your lane change alert, park assist, your park assist tow bar, and then rear collision alert and rear pedestrian alert. A lot going on here, very easy to deal with. Hunt and peck method will get you through, especially if this is new technology to you. Don't let it scare you off. We also have our controls here for the radio. There's volume. You can change stations here. You can turn it on and off. Pretty easy to deal with. Your dual zone climate control. We have 3 zones of climate control, dual in the front, single in the rear. Now, the one thing that's missing, in my opinion, is the fact that we only have heated seats here. I'd really like to have ventilated seats. You do have a wireless charging pad, and you have your cup or bottle holders right there. Now, you could add another wireless charging pad right here. It is an aftermarket wireless charging pad, but that area can be used so you have an extra pad, and plenty of room here for an armrest. With the lid of the center console, it doubles as an armrest. You also have the removable tray right there, and within this area, USB connectivity and quite a bit of space. And just in case, I don't think I have said anything about it, more USB connectivity up here in the front above the wireless charging pad, and a 12-volt power outlet. Now, I gave you a brief look at the upper console earlier, but now you can see that a little bit better. Take a little more time to see what all is there. Pretty easy to deal with, easy to figure out. Here's how you control that power shade that I was telling you about earlier, which I have drawn that forward, and then you use the other controls on the sides there for the tilt or slide function of the sunroof. Okay, here we go on our test drive with the Tahoe. And first off, let me cover one thing I didn't mention earlier, and that is the fact that you have a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. It is power adjustable. That control is going to be found on the left-hand side of the steering column, so very easy to deal with. And I think I mentioned it earlier, hopefully I did. If not, you do have power adjustable seats here for the driver and the passenger. A very comfortable ride quality, and obviously extremely spacious. There is so much space here, whether it's in the first, second, or third row. Obviously, the first 2 rows will offer the most space, but even that third row back there, as I showed you earlier in the video, can offer a lot of space as well, especially depending on where the middle row seats are positioned. That just depends on who is sitting there. And you definitely have ample horsepower with this 5.3 liter V8 engine under the hood. Plenty of power, plenty of torque. You can definitely do your towing. You can take the boat to the lake. You can tow the flatbed with your race car on it if you need to, or even a small enclosed trailer. So a lot of versatility here. Tons of space for the family. If you're going on vacation, there's plenty of room back there for everybody's luggage. There's just more here than you might need. Or if you're going to the grocery store, going to Sam's, going to Costco, and you need some extra space, well, you definitely have ample space in every form and fashion. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, you have such simplistic technology here to learn to use, especially for those of you who maybe haven't had this kind of technology before. I know that can be a little daunting for some people. They're saying, yeah, I really would like a new vehicle. I haven't traded in my Suburban for 20 years or my Tahoe for 20 years. I'm a little nervous about all that technology. Chevrolet, easy to use technology. That's for sure across the board, no matter what you're talking about. So you really can't go wrong there. This model has quite a few features, and I think even though $73,000 plus is definitely not a small number, considering the fact where some vehicles are priced these days, even the price is somewhat reasonable. Okay, tell me what you think about the 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe Z71. Is it the perfect family SUV? I'm always curious to know what you think. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Red River Chevrolet for loaning me this Tahoe for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.